Hi there, Blade Gang. This old sword back at you with departure today a bit. We're going to do a fixed blade. This is one that sort of forgot about. Was going to do it when it came in, but other things happened and other blades came by and they got done instead. But here we are. We have a Rike fixed blade knife. And this is the Rike F1. And I'm assuming that's fixed blade 1. It is an interesting design, reminiscent of a few of their folders. I did a review not too long ago of the Rike M3. Look familiar? We've got sort of the same blade shape, but a bigger blade. Got sort of the same handle shape, but bigger. And in this case, this fixed blade is not quite mirror polished. And I had my battery operated light go out on me, so we're going to pause and I'll be back in a sec. As promised, we're back with the magic miracle of editing to show you a little more about the Rike F1 fixed blade. It is medium-sized fixed blade, I would call it, not small. We have Wiley tape measure here. If we measure that blade all the way back to the handle, I got 5 3/8. Overall, I got 10.5. And we have a handle coming in at 0.68. Not bad for a fixed blade. You don't need to pocket that. And we've got a blade stock of 4.5 millimeters. So good for a fixed blade. Interesting ergos. It is, what do we got for a weight? And shall we weigh it with the Kydex? Yeah, let's weigh it with the Kydex because that's what you got to carry. Hopefully I can get it on here, okay? 10.82. Let's make sure that I'm not touching the tabletop. Yep. 10.82 if you can see that. So while we got it in the Kydex sheath, you can see that it's a full tech lock setup with a lock. Push and lift. Nicely done. This is not a cheapo. This is well done. And as I say, it locks. You can push in there. If you slide it over there. Let's see, where is the lock? There's the lock. So it will lock out on you, but you know, unless you're traveling in heavy brush, I don't think that's something you're going to need to use. It's a good thickness Kydex. It's well formed and smooth. You can thumb it off easily. So in all, I would say it's a good sheath. We have satin finish on this blade. nearly mirror, but it's not. Swedge on the top. And that swedge is back a bit. Full thickness again here. And then the grind comes down to a point. It's an interesting shape. I don't know what I'd call it. It's not a Wharncliffe. It's just different. You could call it a partial drop point. Kind of up sweeps and then drops down. Somewhat reminiscent of maybe a bird's beak of some sort. Certainly. In typical Rike fashion, we got a lot of machining on it. We've got some ventilating holes that go straight through here. A very comfortable choil, full choil for your finger, which gives us, we did the blade length earlier at almost 5.5, I think. But the blade edge is 5, slightly under 5 because of that choil. And that's fine. Plenty of usable edge. Got a nice continuous full belly. The steel on this Rike F1 is touted as being CPM D2, and you don't hear that every day. So the CPM, I believe that is a powder metallurgy style of steel, is a crucible particle metallurgy version of the popular AISI D2 tool steel, popular with custom makers and knife companies. Cleaner, more refined grain, better strength compared to ordinary D2, and that info comes from Knife Steel Compositions, an app that I continue to recommend because if you want to know about steels in your knives, it's as good a place as any to pull the info. We have also a ventilated handle, skeletonized straight through. We have removable handle slabs with what appears to be T8s, front and rear. We have some pretty aggressive milling here into the G10 for grip's sake. Very nice jimped thumb ramp. And it just fits the hand extremely well. Very comfortable in a cross palm grip. Hammer grip, you can jack it back a little bit like that. You can come on up here with your go forward position, or here, here. Got a lot of options. It's an interesting blade. For comparisons today, we're going to look at the Real Steel fixed blade by Ostup Hell. We're going to look at a Kaiser Harpoon by Maverick Customs, in case you know any of these knives. So yeah, what I was looking for here was that this is a Metamorph. Name slipped my mind. That is the fixed blade version of the Real Steel Metamorph. As I said, we have the Kaiser Harpoon here and the F1. You can see that the F1 is considerably larger than either of the two. These are more compact fixed blade knives, coming in at around a little under 4 inches on the Harpoon. And I think probably about 4 inches on the nose with the Metamorph. Let's get these guys back in their sheaths. So I like this knife. It's unusual. It is a good size, while not being a Bowie. It will hang from a belt, backpack, molly, what have you. And all for, I think, about 115, somewhere in there. Again, the Rike Model F1 in CPM D2. Give this a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. This Old Sword, signing out.